next up, my next guest, I'm very excited about. They're a rising star in Australian television and are about to appear on this season of Wentworth. Please welcome Zoe. I'm going to get your last name right. Terakes. Is that right? Come on, Zoe. Now, Zoe and I know... Oh, correct. We can dance, Zoe. Get it up, Zoe. Now, we have a history together. I actually taught Zoe, and you were in Anything Goes, the musical.
I was.
What did you actually... I can't remember what you actually did.
Yeah, I just hid in the back row because I can't dance and I can't sing. So I was just there. It was a courtesy role, I think.
But you learned how to tap dance, though, didn't you?
Oh!
Not really! That's how good I am. That's how good I am.
For your sake, we'll say I did.
So I just think it's amazing what you've achieved. You're only 20 and you've already been nominated for a Helpman Award. What was that for? Do you want to tell everyone what that was for?
That was for A View from the Bridge at Melbourne Theatre Company, which I did that show over 2 years at all these different theatre companies.
And I was just checking up on you. I believe you auditioned for that without your parents knowing. Is that true? You sneaky little thing.
Yeah, no. Well, because I was doing my HSC at the exact same time, and my parents wouldn't let me because they thought I'd fuck up my exams. Rightly so. So yeah, I did it without them knowing. I told them it was for something else that didn't clash.
And how did your exams go, can I ask?
Oh, not too bad, surprisingly. I think everyone was pleasantly surprised.
Even you, by the
Me,
sounds of it.
yes. It was a bit of a shock.
And you did a film, and do you know what I love? That you are taking on these queer roles.
Yeah.
And being such a young person taking on these roles, it's very brave, I believe.
Thank you.
And you are a big advocate for trans as well.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that? Because I'd love you to speak about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's so important, and it's something that's been so underrepresented in the film and TV world and in the theatre world. And I think times are finally changing, and people are seeing that trans people should be telling trans stories. And I think we're seeing it globally. And even in this country, feeling the change, like on something like Wentworth playing a trans role in that. I just think it's always going to mean more to the community if they're seeing themselves represented by somebody who identifies that way.
And how do you identify?
I identify as non-binary, so my pronouns are they, them.
And can you explain to people at home how that is for you in day-to-day life? Because I can imagine that can be quite difficult at times.
Yeah, this is how I always put it, because I think for something like being gay, like there's a lot of fuckwits in the world who disagree with it, and that's what it is, but everybody knows what it is. Yeah. Whereas with being non-binary, even though it's ancient, you look at the Greeks, there's non-binary gods, like in Samoan culture, it's ancient, all that stuff, but I think a lot of people in the world just don't know what it is, and so constantly having to explain yourself can be exhausting, but also I know in doing so, for the next generation, they won't have to explain themselves, and it'll just be normal.
And this is why what I think you do is important, being a young person, because I think your career is going to go boom after Wentworth. Because you're playing a trans man.
Yeah.
Reb Keane, which is goes back to
heritage.
The old... Because I used to watch Prisoner, so I know who Reb Keane is. And for you to play... I think this is just going to launch your career, and you're going to be a voice of the community, being a non-binary person, playing this role. How do you feel taking that on board?
I mean, it's huge. And
it's massive.
Yeah, and you kind of... When we were shooting, obviously we've had to stop because of COVID, but... feeling the kind of weight of a community that you feel so indebted to and want to represent accurately, I got a little bit overwhelmed, and so I kind of just had to hone in on myself and go, if I'm telling my story, it can't be wrong. No one can come at me.
And that is the right choice.
Because it's true to me,
That's 100% the right... Because you cannot please everyone.
No, never.
It's impossible. Like, I even saw, the guy on Melrose Place that played the gay character on Melrose Place. He was saying, well, you're not like a gay person I know. Gay people are many different things. They're not just we're not just one thing.
There's no one story.
Exactly right.
And we don't say to straight people you have to represent every straight person.
Yes,
so I think
true.
It's kind of going, well, fuck the system. This is who I am.
And is there anything you can say without giving too much away about your Wentworth time on Wentworth?
Oh, just that it's been the greatest joy of my life, and the humans that you work with on that show are just remarkable. And playing lovers with Kate Box, it doesn't get much better than that.
And are you accepted in the industry being non-binary? Is everyone very respectful of that? I can imagine they are.
It's slow, it's a gradual thing. It's certainly not overnight. And you still encounter some funny humans who don't back it, but it's definitely changing, and that's a really awesome thing to feel. And I think you know, Australia's a little bit behind the 8 ball always, and so to feel the influence that places like America and the UK have had on the Australian industry in regards to trans stuff is really exciting.
The big thing that for me that made me understand non-binary was when they did the non-binary Barbie doll.
Did they do a non-binary Barbie doll?
Yeah, they've done a non-binary Barbie.
Did they really?
And that really made me understand
Yeah.
it. Because sometimes it's understanding something.
Totally.
And that was because you can have your own doll. You can make it whatever you want it to be. And that, to me, was when I started to understand
and that's why representation is so important, because I think even with, you know, Sam Smith, suddenly all these people who before didn't really pay it the time of day or just didn't know what it was, go, oh yeah, like Sam Smith. You know, so when there's people like there who are brave enough to be themselves out in the world, you make it easier for the next person.
And what's great about what you're doing is that you're not pretending to be something else and then saying you're non-binary.
Yeah.
You were coming out straight from the get-go.
Yeah.
And that's why I think what you're doing is so incredible.
Thank you.
And so, so brave.
Thank you, beautiful Minnie.
I could talk to you for hours because I just adore you, but I'm going to have to let you go. Thank you for coming.
You,
I'd love to give you a big
I know.
hug. Zoe is the most incredible person.